What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is Human Nature. Now, this one comes from Greenwich Entertainment. It is directed by Adam Bolt, and this is a documentary that showcases gene editing, gene splicing, gene therapy, altering DNA in a way that could rid people of disease and make their genes to where they don't have these conditions anymore, abnormalities, and make people's lives a little bit better, but also raise up the ethical question of if you get it into the wrong hands, like what possible damage it could do on a worldwide scale. All that stuff is just fascinating. So I didn't know this documentary even existed, but I'm glad it does, and I'm glad it was on my radar, because if you were into science or biochemistry or anything like that, this movie is going to blow your mind in terms of how much care, how much knowledge goes into just altering genes, and how they're not quite there in perfecting it yet, but like they're working on it every single day, and like what it could do for people that have like cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, sickle cell, which is displayed early on in the movie. It's just wild how far science has come, but also having it on the flip side where people think like they're playing God and they're altering things when they shouldn't be doing that because it could cause more harm down the line than good. It's a crazy thing to go back and forth, but I think it's fascinating regardless. To me, I love that this type of stuff, science and anything to do with like health, medicine. I have a medical condition myself, so this stuff is even more emotional for me to watch, because there's people out there that have worse things than I do, and so seeing something that could possibly help them, it gets me riled up with tears and everything. But I do think it's a great documentary showcasing everything about the good and the possible bad of this subject matter. And I think director Adam Bolt knows that. There's a lot of people that don't know much about gene editing and altering embryos and all that stuff. And so he does it in the best way possible of getting these really kind of warm and inviting experts that, are just speaking to us and telling us the real truth about all this. And they're all super knowledgeable and way smarter than me. And so I'm sitting there listening to them, and it's just really, really intriguing to hear them talk about the difficulties in doing this. People just think it's super easy in doing this, but it's really intricate and it's really dangerous sometimes, because they could alter the wrong gene and you can completely mess this person up. It's a really detailed thing they do in medicine, and it's not something to take lightly. And so Adam kind of takes this approach of like, he's telling us all this information because a lot of us don't really know about it. It's very lecture-y almost, but they do it in a way to where, like, as they're speaking, they might use animated graphics to kind of showcase their point, and it really emphasizes a lot more when you can visually see what they're talking about. And really good, it just kind of drives that whole point home. And so it's a very, it's fascinating in terms of data and just information, but also a really kind of just entertaining watch, because everything that they're saying is just, it has a lot of weight to it, and you can see it in these kind of like animated graphics. And so Adam does his best to kind of make sure everything is like really detailed, but also not boring at the same time. And I appreciate that approach, because I'm a dum-dum, and so watching this stuff and making it in a very entertaining form like a documentary is just good. So yeah, I really liked his approach to it. He got the right experts for it. And speaking of the experts, all the interview shots are shot well. They're clean. They're lit well. They're framed up appropriately. Everything about it just looks nice. Just great visual eye candy as you're listening to this important information from the experts. So there's that. It's an hour and 40 minutes, but I could watch, honestly, a whole series based on this, because there's a lot more to this than just, get into a strand of DNA, switch this out with another letter, and then you're cured and moving on. No. Another thing about this that, a lot of these experts bring up is the ethical play in playing God, essentially. You're switching up someone's DNA that when people are born and babies are born, whatever their DNA is, it's the lottery. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to get from your mom or your dad. If something's going to come together and something's going to get mutated, you don't know. And so fixing something small like that could be very beneficial to them if you can rid them of disease, but also if you do something wrong, you can cause more damage than good. And so people, when they hear about this, they have their public opinion on it. All these wonderful experts out there on Facebook. They have their opinion out there like, this is wrong. You don't mess with what God intended and stuff. And it's like, there is that morality play. And it's like, where do you go? Where do you draw the line? And so they really hammer that in with each expert that's talking. And it just makes the documentary more fascinating because you start thinking, they're right. Where do you draw the line? If this gets in the hands of bad people, what could they do to make this as bad as possible with altering genes within certain people to, kind of make them perfect? And, it blows, my mind can't even comprehend it, because they do bring up a lot of people saying that like gene altering is equivalent to like what the Nazis did and how they wanted like a perfect society, and equating doctors trying to get rid of sickle cell out of a boy so he doesn't have to live like that, comparing it to like Nazi propaganda. That's irresponsible, and you shouldn't do that. I'm sure there's people out there that would love to exploit it, and that's what they were bringing up. That's what they're contemplating, is like, do you release this to the world? Do you release this to the public? Because you don't know what's going to happen. So where do you draw the line? Once again, bringing up all these like philosophical questions just makes for a really thought-provoking watch. So that's about it. It's hour 40. It's very brisk, gets in, gets out. But I could definitely see more of this and really examining further into this form of science. So I liked it a lot. I'm going to give Human Nature a B+. So what did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you have thoughts on gene editing and splicing and all that stuff? Let me know down below. Be civil in the comments, but I will answer back, and I do see all the comments, so there's that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video so you can get up to date on whatever I review. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.